All right, guys. Did you change the title of your stream?
Oh, well, I just said I'd group draw GLT episode. I'm just gonna cut this out. A special group draw Greatest League Talk Show starts now.
I love the random capitalization. Only greatest.
That's the only word that matters.
Greatest. All right, so you want me to break down exactly what's going on with the group draw?
Yeah, break it down for our viewers and I guess me.
All right, so they did a group draw for both the play-in stage and the actual Worlds tournament. The play-in stage is structured so that there are 4 groups of 3 that will do a double round robin. The number 1 and number 2 out of both groups, of all groups, move on into a bracket, and then they play a best of 5, and then 4 teams from the total of the 12 that we started with move on to the group stage of Worlds. The group stage of Worlds is what everyone's familiar with. It's 4 groups of 4. They play double round robin best of 1s. Once again, top 2 teams move out into quarterfinals. So the play-in stage is very similar to Worlds overall. The difference is, for the play-in stage, it's a bunch of the number 1 regions from the emerging regions. Number 1 teams, yeah, wildcard regions as they used to be called. So it's like Turkey, Brazil, Japan, all this shit. And then the 3rd seed from a lot of...
Sorry, continue.
The 3rd seed from a lot of the major regions. So China, NA, EU, and then Taiwan have their 3rd seed. Taiwan's 2nd seed. In the... Or it's not Taiwan's 2nd seed. It's
Is it their second
no,
seed?
It's these motherfuckers. The LMS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now scroll back up so we don't. All right, we're good.
Yeah. So basically, Korea doesn't have a team in there because they're Korea. The same reason.
Which thank God for all the teams in there because they would not want any of those Koreans in there.
Right. So we'll kick things off talking about the groups, which were drawn here.
Here, you want to go really standard A to D?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is
A to D. Fuck.
Okay. First group has World Elite, Gambit, Leon Gaming. So everything I've heard about World Elite is that they're actually probably the best team in the play-ins. Period.
I think it's probably a little closer than people let on. I think the top teams in China are often like really good, but the 3rd seed usually leaves a little bit to be desired. If you remember IMA from last year,
right? And usually I would agree, but I actually watched a lot of the.
Everyone thought they were going to be way better.
Yeah, I watched the semifinals game where they played against the eventual winners, I think, and then they did really well. I think it took it to 5 games.
Yeah, and then they beat IG to get here as well, which was what everyone thought was going to be the 3rd team. So I think they're good. I would just say be careful because China's crazy.
Dude, it's depressing. Rookie, instead of going to Worlds, has to just come in and like draw like names.
Yeah,
from
he gets
a hat.
flown in. Like, hey, you're traveling at least.
Yeah,
right?
This is like the consolation prize for not making Worlds for him.
He seemed. I saw like a clip. I think he seemed happy. I guess he seems okay with it. As okay as you can be. Anyways, WE are really good.
Yeah, and I actually know a little bit about Gambit as well.
Well, yeah, because this Gambit has some members of old Gambit M5.
Right, it's kind of a combination of old M5 members with members from other teams, like Kira from last year's ridiculous run with ANX. Is that correct?
I think he was on that team, yeah.
Yes, and oh god, is it Stayhost who's playing now top lane?
Oh, is that what happened?
Yes, and
so I was like Diamond Prox is jungle, so it can't be Stayhost.
Yeah, so it's like literally like they just took a lot of teams from like other regions or not the other teams, a lot of players from the other teams, and combined it with Diamond Prox and Edward
yeah.
from old M5, and they just smashed the region all up until the finals where they looked really rocky. And so that's the only thing going in. I would be a lot more comfortable with them if I had known that, like, okay, they smashed the region, and then going into the playoffs, and they smashed the playoffs, and they're here, like, after a 3-0. But from what I understand, it was a very, very close series that did not look very good.
It could have just been some nerves kind of issue. I heard Reckless say that they scrimmed them, and they said that they're an LCS caliber team. I'm not where they are in the LCS, but at the very least, a reasonable team. Lion Gaming, they played in MSI in the playing stage, which I was doing the analyst desk for, and I watched them. Not super impressed. There was basically only 2 or 3 teams at the MSI playing stage that I would say like teams should be wary of. and Lion is not one of them. But they still have two pretty tough people just between Gambit and World Elite. So this is probably the group that's going to decide a lot of the tournament, because Gambit will probably take number 2, and then they'll get matched up against the number 1 from another region. So if it's Gambit versus C9 or Gambit versus Fnatic, that could be a little scary. Or especially Gambit versus Group D, because Group D is the weak.
And what's really scary about this format is that, let's say you mess up, because it's a best of 1 double round robin, right? Best of 1s, something's gonna happen. You may get
always.
You just get like a cheese thrown at you and you lose. Whatever. If you lose too many times but you still advance, let's say you're World Elite, you advance second. That's a nightmare for everyone else, because then you see like C9 versus World Elite in the next round potentially.
I mean, even the same way, like World Elite, let's say goes 4-0, C9 struggles a little bit, maybe goes like 2-2, 3-1, and they're the second seed now, and then they play World Elite, and you're not getting out.
So that's the biggest thing to take in consideration. It doesn't even matter if you just advance. If you advance at the second place, that's still really scary for you. Taking the best of 5 against some of these teams is not what you should want to do. So you want to be top of your group for sure.
If you get, I would say there's not many teams to be scared of coming out of the second seeds, but Gambit is potentially one of them. Moving on to Group B.
Yeah, and everyone knows C9. We talked about them a little bit in the last episode we have of GLT in their gauntlet run. Honestly, they weren't that impressive.
No, I mean, we saw them lose to Dig. It looked pretty bad. Don't see them for a month. See them beat CLG in like a very ugly series. So you don't have a ton of confidence going in.
And you don't know how good they are in some aspects, because it's contracts abusing Omar, which is like going to happen if you're any top jungler in the region, because right now he doesn't have efficient pathing to be able to both farm and get to the right position at the right time.
And then they were still losing a lot of early games, but they won because Stixxay played really bad for most of that series.
Right. The only thing you can't say is that Impact is looking like he's performing relatively well in lane, and as long as I think he doesn't get exploited in lane, C9 have a good shot out of lane.
And given that this is the play-in stage, it's pretty unlikely that someone's going to come up there and abuse him harder than like Darshan would have or Someday would have, and he held up fine versus them.
Right. I think that's really good for C9, especially for this stage. Their competition, I don't know too much about.
So Team 1 Esports, I don't know a ton about them, but they are from Brazil. And one of the only teams that looked good during the play-in stage was the Red Canids, who I'm pretty sure Team 1 beat in the finals to get here. So that means that they're actually probably one of the best teams coming from one of the emerging regions. I'll see if chat corrects me in a second, but I'm pretty sure they had to beat Red Canids to get here.
All I know about this group is that what Jensen tweeted after he got in the group, and then literally the replies to his tweet are just all Brazilian people like flaming him, and I think that's just like
it was so funny.
Oh god, that's such a Jensen thing to do. It's so funny, but I guess right now, since we don't know too much about the second team, because we don't watch Brazil, what do you have about OPL?
So OPL Direwolves was a team that was at the MSI play-in stage, and they have a jungler, Shermfire. You might have even heard of him.
This guy's actually good.
Yeah, so he was pretty good, and he would pop off a little bit.
Yeah, no, I remember way back when he actually DM'd me, and he just asked me like something about like how do I like become a better professional player, and I was just like, I gave him some like relatively basic advice, but this was like a while back, and he like crushed in a challenger.
Yeah, Shermfire was used to play in NA, which is I think something a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, he is a monster jungler, at least mechanics wise. And from what I understand, he went back to Australia and like relatively just like crushed the region.
He like showed up, joined the team, and they became like the #1 team. And they have some other good players too, but he's like the big guy to watch out for, which is especially scary in this format. Best of ones, like a super aggro jungler can just win a game. He just like goes in there, kills contracts. Game over. He has an Italy or some random shit like that happens, and it's scary to play teams whose best players are jungler.
Yeah, I definitely like you've seen that in the past with like Gigabyte Marines, and
ANX PvP stay host was arguably the best.
Right, and so when you have junglers of that caliber, like they are the big X factor, especially early game. And if you're the better team, the only shot you have if you're the worst team playing a better team is to snowball early.
Yeah, so I actually think Cloud9 has one of the harder ones, just because if Team 1 is anything like what we saw with Red Canids, they'll probably have a little bit of a tough time versus them. And while Direwolves, I don't think, have any chance of really making it out, they can still steal a win that will potentially bump C9 down to the second spot.
Ooh. So it's not so much that you expect C9 to get out of this group.
I expect C9 to get out of this group. I would even say they're probably the favorites still, pretty easily, but I think it is still one of the tougher groups.
Okay, so let's go back to Group A real quick. Who do you expect to get out of here? Is it World Elite and Gambit?
Yeah, I think pretty much hands down.
Okay.
Unless, I mean, anytime you put an emerging region versus emerging region, anything can happen. So maybe Lion just shits on Gambit.
Right.
But World Elite's pretty much 100%.
Okay, and in the second group, you said you think Team 1 is just going to beat the second team that comes out.
Pretty positive. I think it's basically C9 and them. It's just about who potentially drops a game to Dire Wolves.
Okay, I'm all with you for C9. I definitely think they're coming out top 2, if not the best in the group. I don't have much hope for OPL as like a region, but that's essentially what the playing group stage is, right? You have all these emerging regions. One of them is going to upset.
Yep.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
So you saw from ANX last year. Maybe OPL is the region that upsets this year.
Yeah, we'll have to see. That brings us into Group C. Congrats, Fnatic, on first place.
What the
So we got Fnatic, Young Generation from the GPL, and Chaos Latin Gamers from the CLS, Central Latin something, I think.
Okay, so GPL is a region. A lot of these other leagues, from what I understand, are very top heavy.
Yeah, very top heavy.
You're talking like 2 teams that smash everyone else. And maybe one team that smashes everyone and another team that smashes everyone that's not the one team.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
GPL is a region that I heard has that kind of...
Oh, yeah. So coming into MSI, Gigabyte Marines coming from the GPL obliterated like literally everyone in their region. Like it wasn't even close. And now I don't think this team that I've heard anything about from Young Generation has any chance, because I hear they just got destroyed by...
Well, okay. Well, now let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's say instead of Young Generation, Gigabyte Marines is here.
Oh, yeah.
Where would you put them in the group?
Oh, that's so tough. Just because I feel like...
I actually think Gigabyte Marines is actually really good.
I think they're really good.
From the small clips I've seen of them, like throughout their play this year, they're looking pretty good.
And I think when you start talking about like styles, like Fnatic's not a fast team from like what people like. For what I've seen, they just play generally kind of slow. So I think that would be a horrendous matchup. Just like Levi would go nuts.
All right, I'm gonna move this a little bit closer, just
stick it more in the middle.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Oh, they can't even see it. It's not even a big deal.
It's because we're gods at setting up production. But Young Generation is not Gigabyte Marines.
So you're saying they got smashed in their region, so they're coming in as like they're limping into to Worlds pretty much.
Yeah, I mean like think about C9 getting knocked out in quarters, right? Like, but imagine that in an emerging. From my understanding, I have to go back and check, but it feels like what people talk about was like there's Gigabyte Marines, big drop to everyone else. Same way that kind of happens with Flash Wolves and AHQ often. You know, one of those kind of scenarios.
Okay, Chaos Latin Gamers. I've heard nothing about this team.
I believe they were in the play-in stage at MSI, if I remember, and I don't know if they got a win. I would have to double check. They might have. I don't think that they.
So you're saying just off initial thoughts, you don't think they have a chance?
I don't think so.
EU 100% first in this group.
This is the Group D of group stage, but the play-in version, I think.
I feel like it's even worse. If you're saying that Fnatic, it's like they're not just guaranteed to go out; they're guaranteed to go out first place.
Pretty much, I think.
So if Fnatic doesn't make it out even first, you'd say that's looking really bad for them.
Oh yeah. Because if you can't get out first in this group, how are you going to beat the first seed of another group, right? In a best of 5.
Okay.
I'll need to like. So one thing we forgot to mention at the start of this is that I have to do. I'm doing the analyst test for play-in stage. So all these teams, I have not watched them yet. I haven't done my research. So I might learn something along the way where I'm like, actually, Young Generation,
they're actually really good. No.
Yeah.
And I think people understand, like, especially tuning in for me, I already say I don't watch other regions.
Yeah, I don't.
Right?
I generally watch NA, parts of Korea, and parts of Europe, and that's it.
Right. And so, like, I'm the person that's coming in clueless. So don't worry about it, dude. They don't expect anything.
Yeah, and chat doesn't know any better. There's like one guy who watches Brazil trying to tell me what's happening, but he's getting lost in the swarm of
Yeah.
everyone else pretending they know.
I'm sorry if we're a little bit misinformed. We're trying to make our best initial opinion.
Yeah, all my opinions of these teams are based off what I saw from them when I was doing the MSI thing. I have not updated my knowledge of these wildcard teams.
All right, let's keep going down. What's Group D? Which
no, can't you just look at the? It's the Hong Kong team.
Is that a snake?
It looks like these look like two eyes. You know.
Is that dragon?
And it looks like a smile and like a flower. It looks like a flower head thing.
Okay, and then the next team is
Is that like a bear or a cat?
And then you have
an R.
Team Rocket.
A big R. Yeah, you got Jesse in the jungle. He's pretty good. Meowth has had a worse season than usual.
I mean, legit, I cannot tell. I don't know how you could tell. I know these NA regions, and even then, if you give me half of Fnatic's logo, I might mess up.
I can do half of Fnatic, but when you show me all these red logos, like a red star, a red
I wouldn't be able to guess
a red R.
I wouldn't be able to guess Gambit.
I wouldn't
even if I
guess
knew
Gambit.
he was in the play-in stage, I would have had to look over and been like, I think it's that one.
Anyways, all right, we're gonna scroll down real quick. Hong Kong attitude.
Attitude?
Fenerbahce. 1907 Fenerbahce is the good year for wine and cheese.
And Rampage.
LJL.
Okay.
So, Rampage was in... I'll start with them because I know the most about them, a.k.a. anything at all compared to the other two. Rampage was at play-in stage for MSI. They were awful. They got smashed.
Coming from someone who's watched their region play, surprisingly,
whoa!
I watched their it's turned it on randomly. Their playoff finals in the last round had like 20,000 viewers. So I watched a lot of it.
Oh damn! All right.
And part of the reason why I watched a lot of it is because I think Rampage's mid laner Saros played. Is it his mid laner or the opposing mid laner played only Heimerdinger mid?
I don't think that's Rampage's team.
Oh, so it's the other team they beat.
I think.
Okay, so I just think it's really strange for me to see Heimer in like a region doing anything, and so I was generally attracted to these teams. I didn't see much of anything from either team, so like they both the teams looked like they had problems.
Yeah. So you can probably expect them not to do too much. This group is actually probably the easiest group.
I will say though that Japan has gotten a lot better, like because
they've attempted to bring infrastructure in, like they have coaches in the league,
right?
Like
and so Japan's one of the regions that I feel like could surprisingly do well, but I still think they have like one of the smallest player bases, and it's really dangerous. But for some reason, I am optimistic about.
I had a friend who like went there who was like low diamond in NA and was like borderline challenger there. It's the same thing you hear about Oceanic region, right? Where there's just not a big enough player pool to have good players. And I bought into the hype a little bit going into MSI, where people are like, no, they're good. They have like infrastructure and this stuff, and they got smashed. So
this time you're not buying in.
No, I'm a hard pass on this team.
I'll buy in a little bit just because I don't think the group.
This is the easiest group. So
yes.
I jokingly said Group C was, but it's really Group D because Hong Kong, I can't remember their names again. Hold on. Attitude. Hong Kong Attitude. Yeah, I just haven't heard about these guys at all. Haven't heard about Fenerbahce Esports. I literally know nothing about these teams.
I didn't even know that was a team name. Like, I don't have any knowledge of it as either. So I'm unfortunately just as lost as you are.
This is the one where if you're the 2 seed coming out of Group A, B, and C, you're hoping to pick up the 1 seed from Group D most likely.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And honestly, like, I guess that's really fortunate because there's not a really, really strong candidate out of this group.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you put anybody in here, they have a pretty high chance, I think. Fenerbahce is actually pretty good, someone says in chat. So one thing I'll say is at least Fenerbahce exists in an area where like there are a lot of players. They're mostly a European team. I mean, someone will probably be like, no, they're Yugoslavian. It's not really the same thing as Europe. But at the end of the day...
yes. They have a lot of player base to choose from. Whereas
right.
like when you're looking at Japan, they import a lot of players. Like
yeah.
I've had people get offers to go to Japan from like NA Masters.
Yeah.
And so it's really just like their player base is super small.
Oh, I do know a little bit about Fenerbahce. Move is in there as well as somebody else from another team. Knight.
Knight and Move?
Knight and Move are on Fenerbahce Esports.
They made it in?
Yes, so this is their team.
Dude, that's crazy. They had such a wild ride to get to Worlds. So Move comes from like old Gravity.
Yeah.
Like couldn't find a team. Went to EU.
He was in Europe for a little bit.
And then couldn't find a team, and then somehow found his way to TCL and is at Worlds. That's a wild ride.
Oh, it's Frozen, not Knight.
Oh, Frozen.
I knew it was a
Korean mid laner.
Korean mid laner who went to Europe because both of them did that. I think Frozen was in there. Forzen. But yeah, so either way, maybe Fenerbahce is the favorite then, just because they have some recognizable talent. But that's from a very Western perspective.
Yeah, I don't really like that perspective because like Move didn't do too hot. Even at the end of Gravity, went to Europe. He didn't do too hot there, and then had to leave the region for TCL. So I would say that it's fortunate that any of these three teams loves to be in this group.
Yeah,
because it's their best chance.
Yeah, so I think I still maintain what I said though. Like, if you're a Group 2 or if you're like the second seed out of any of the other groups, you're happy to take Group A's number 1 seed.
And you need to get out of first in Group D to even have a shot, because no one that coming out of second Group D should be anyone coming out of first from any of the other groups.
Yes. So there you have it. You're looking at most likely as 1 seeds: World Elite, C9, Fnatic, and Fenerbahce.
You think that one?
Well, I'm just throwing my chips down with them. Why not? They have a fun name to say. I can't wait to be on the analyst. That's Fenerbahce had a great draft.
Oh, I think Rampage is gonna get out 1 or 2.
All right,
just because I like.
Because you're a weeb.
Yeah, I'm not Josh, but I like the region. I actually think it's really cool that they're able to get that many views on the region that like literally.
I mean, if you tell me that this team is like the number 1 team in the region, only playing Heimerdinger mid, I'll probably.
I mean, I don't know I'm pretty sure it was the other team, so it's not this team.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like the other, like at least something cool is happening.
Yeah, something cool is happening in their region, and they're getting a little bit of recognition.
Yeah, I don't want to watch 2 bad players play Ori Cassio matchup and just like.
Yeah, exactly. At least if one of them plays Heimer, you're just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Something I haven't seen before. Okay. Let's jump on to the next stage where I will know a lot about.
Yeah, here we can finally.
You will know as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're done with group stage. Moving on. Do we need to like kind of adjust?
A minor, yeah.
Perfect. Just as a heads up, this color coding doesn't help at all.
No, like this blue is a very slight hint of blue here.
So last year they did the group draw and they had circles, and I like that because visually, like I could see that. Okay. This is really difficult for me to see like the outline for. Sorry, we're talking aesthetics. Maybe not why you come to this.
No, that's what they really like our designs, like our interior. Like you just have this nice blank white space behind you. My room is very similar. We're both minimalists. It's a very hip aesthetic right now. I'm surprised you even have that Scarra painting.
That's so good. All right. Anyway, focus on the group draw. So
like we said, same kind of format as the play-in stage. There was a bunch of Pool 1 teams, a bunch of Pool 2 teams, but there was also the teams that will be joining them from the play-in stage who move on.
Right. So keep in mind that the 4 teams which are not filled in are potentially going to be, World Elite, Fnatic, C9.
And that can, for the most part, heavily change a group's performance.
Right.
Potentially.
And especially when you go into Group D, we'll probably talk about that more.
Yes.
So the first group we have EDG, SKT, AHQ.
Congrats to SKT and EDG moving on. I don't think
AHQ.
So one thing worth noting for who's going to be joining them from the playing stage, if I understand it correctly, you cannot get the same region in your group.
So it can't be World Elite.
Can't be World Elite. The Korean team will not be coming from there.
So
there's one other LMS team, right? I can't remember.
So it could be EU or NA, assuming both get out.
Right. And yeah, there's no chance. I mean, like, you might see Gambit thrown in here. You might see NAE.
So you think there's no chance that if EU or NA makes the 4th seed, C9 or Fnatic, they can't get out second in this group? I don't think they can get out first. Like, there's no chance.
I don't think they can get out second. I think EDG will take second over it. Overrating EDG at Worlds, lol.
Oh,
maybe, but like they usually get out of groups. Like they usually get destroyed in quarters by a Korean team.
That's true. And in this situation, I think SKT by far my favorites. Even if they don't get out first, they'll get out second. Because sometimes for their group stage, they just like
They
lose
just don't
games.
care.
Yeah, it feels really bad because it's best of ones. It's not like they don't care, but in best of one situations, they're just stuff happens. Upsets happen.
Yeah.
But whatever happens, they're consistent enough to always make it. So first for me, and I think EDG will do well. They're the number 1 seed from China.
And I mean, it'd be one thing if like I felt confident about NA's third region or EU's third team.
Sure.
Maybe Fnatic's a little better.
Yeah, I want to say I have more of an upside for Fnatic than I do for C9.
Yeah, so like if you tell me Fnatic gets into this group and EDG slumps, maybe Fnatic can get out.
Right.
But I don't think there's a chance C9 because C9 looks so bad at the end of the year.
And even for me, like putting in C9 into AHQ.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing where I would say it's C9 favorite, but not nearly as much as I'd want it to be.
Yeah, and even then, who knows? Like maybe we see C9 through play-in stage and they get here and they look horrible. They had like a 5-game series versus Fenerbahce Esports, and you're really gonna take on AHQ, EDG, and SKT now.
Okay, so regardless who gets to the wild cards, we both think EDG, SKT go out probably second and first.
Yes. People are saying, remember Rift Rivals, Fnatic lost to C9. Okay.
I mean,
it was Rift Rivals. It was a random tournament in the middle of the season that no one wanted.
Yeah, like Rift Rivals is a thing that wasn't very ultra competitive. Like, obviously, like if you're in A, you'd want to say it was because EU got smashed.
Hey, I will take it to the bank. Like, yeah, we fucked them that tournament.
Yeah.
But that tournament ended, and it's 2 or 3 months later.
Yeah, it's like it's not even close to the meta where that tournament where we had like Nidalee junglers popping off to like.
Yeah. I mean, Nidalee actually is slightly coming back.
It's slightly.
But at the end of the day, it's a tank meta now.
Yeah, you're seeing like Sedge every game with Jarvan and Rek'Sai. Like it's not Gragas. It's not nearly the same.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the second group, where we have Longzhu with Immortals and Gigabyte Marines. This is the team where I just think it's real. I actually just think
Longzhu number 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's get that out of the way.
Okay. They're so good. Like,
yeah.
It's just like, especially when you're looking at both side lanes of the map, because let's be real. I've watched Cuz play. He is one of the best solo queue junglers I've ever seen. But in competitive, he's upper tier, but his teammates are just phenomenal, right? You got Khan, who's just smashed his region, like just single-handedly, like won the last series almost by himself, superstar. And you have what
BDD.
BDD, he's doing really well. No, I think against anyone who's not like Faker level, he's just gonna crush them.
Yeah.
He's got unbelievable stats throughout the year. However, didn't play too well in the Faker. I don't think he was like the big impact reason.
He's a rookie still, right?
Right.
So like that, I think that was his first big match. Maybe
he's been on like other teams. So yeah, I want to say
he's not like a rookie. Like it's the first time he's ever played LCK, but I think this was the first time he was like the starter. The de facto.
No, definitely. I don't know what to think about BDD because I've seen his stat line. I've seen some of his highlight reels. I've seen a little bit of his games, but like when I see him play against Faker, I'm still always gonna be like, wow, Faker's just so good.
He reminds me a little bit of Rookie in the sense where like Rookie was always like really crazy, really mechanically talented, crazy in-game plays, but Faker just does everything so well, and I don't know if you quite get that.
Oh well, I mean, in this situation, let's not even compare to Faker. Let's compare to Pobelter, right? Because what's Gigabyte Marines mid laner? Because really, when I think of Gigabyte Marines, I tunnel in on their jungler.
Yeah,
right?
You always think of Levi. I can't remember anyone else on their team, to be honest. I'm not off the top of my head.
We're renaming our show Greatest Levi Talk Show.
Yeah, it was Lyra for a little bit.
Yeah, then Lyra's gone, so we're just renaming this part right here.
Optimus. Oh, Optimus is good too. Yeah.
Optimus did not play bad.
Yeah, he's pretty reasonable. Thank you, chat.
So, I just think you should not sleep on Gigabyte Marines. This is a team in especially in. Is this also going to be a best of one setting where we do double round robin?
Yes.
That is like the worst case scenario to play against that type of team.
Right. So one thing I heard about Gigabyte Marines is I think they changed out 2 players. From what I heard,
They changed out their top laner.
is it just one?
Oh no, their AD, right? I heard their AD is even better now.
Oh, is it? I didn't hear if they got better or worse.
Yeah.
I heard some people say they weren't as dominant or something, but they upgraded their bot lane. AD and top. Stark is gone.
That's good for them. Well, usually when you thought of Gigabyte Marines winning, it was always like Levi and X.
Yeah.
I think actually Optimus played decently well in most of their games. So
I mean, he's the heart and soul of that team. So like, as long as Levi's still there, they're probably gonna play like some balls out aggressive team. You know, so like if their support's in the top lane now, like
I'm kind of worried because I think that like that kind of aggression only really works if the meta suits that type of jungle play. This is not a meta where that type of jungle play is very good. And so like just by saying that, like I would say like Gigabyte Marine is actually worse on this patch than on any of the prior patches possible before. With that being said, what are the potential Group D candidates? Like if we got LZ coming out, like they're first.
yeah, they got Prey and Gorilla in the bot lane. We didn't even touch on that. Probably the best bot lane in the world.
They're monsters. Like what do I even say? They've been to like they've been on 3 separate teams, and they've just been like world class throughout.
So I think Immortals, depending on who comes in out of the play-in stage, actually has an okay chance to get out.
Okay, it can't be C9.
Can't be C9.
It can be Fnatic.
It can be Fnatic. It can be World Elite.
Oh.
And it can be if there's another wildcard team that is not a GPL team.
I think if it's World Elite, that's a hard group.
Yeah, I think if it's World Elite, Immortals is in big trouble.
Yeah, like already, I would say I would pick Immortals over Gigabyte Marines, just on both on paper and on the fact that like I just don't think it's a good meta for Gigabyte Marines. I really think that in any other situation, I would actually say best of ones, Gigabyte Marines has a really good edge, but not in this meta.
Yeah, I would mostly agree with that. I think Immortals actually in some...
Oh, it can't be World Elite. It has to be in D.
Oh, why is it can't be World Elite?
Oh, it's because I think if World Elite's in this one, then the other things have to be in the other things.
But you don't know who's making it out.
Oh, so assuming that there are no upsets, World Elite has to be here. But if there are upsets, then...
I would bank on there being upsets, though. Because they're saying that, so if we scroll back up real quick, they're saying that like this LMS team is going to get out, right? Hong Kong Attitude, and that means that the LMS team can't be like here. But like I don't think the LMS team is going to get out. If it's Gambit, then Gambit can go like anywhere, right? And that frees up World Elite, if I understand it correctly.
Assuming there are no upsets.
Yeah, but I'm pretty confident there's going to be upsets. So I don't.
You're saying one of the four top seeds is not going to make it.
Yeah.
All right, I can see that. All right, I think
like look at Group D.
I think we should prepare for the worst. So we know if World Elite's in this group, it's a nightmare actually.
Yeah.
So I think World Elite gets out of this group if they drop in. But if it's not World Elite, it's Fnatic. It's what else? Can't be C9. There's Hong Kong Attitude. I think Immortals is a good shot.
Yeah, if that happens, Immortals should get out of this group. Like you can't ask for too many easier. Like you have one number 1 seed and then no Chinese team.
Right. Yeah. So I think that relative to that, they have if World Elite, if all the number 1 seeds go through and World Elite can't be in this group, and Worlds is actually looking okay to come out second.
Yeah.
It means that their Worlds run might be over once they get past this stage.
But that's true for most.
Yeah, but that's completely fine. I think that you can't pray for a Group D.
Right. So like, there's two things. Like, right, if World Elite ends up in Group D is a little difficult. It's still as good as you can like ask for.
Right.
But it's a little difficult.
Or everyone says like Group D is the group of life. Every single team in Group D thinks that.
Yeah, every single team in like they're all closer together.
Yeah, they're all just like, yes, we got TSM. Yeah.
And in some ways, Group B, even though you have Longju in it, it's like your best team in your group is the number 1 region from Korea. So you don't have like a Korean 3 seed fucking you, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm actually more scared if I'm a team going into Worlds of getting drawn into a group with Samsung than I am of getting drawn into Longju. Just because I would much rather not have like the Korean 1 seed plus Samsung.
Right. I think it'd be pretty. Or you mean like the Chinese 1 seed?
Right. So basically Group C.
Yeah.
Right? Like Group C is a nightmare.
Yeah, Group C is pretty rough, and it could have been. No, Group C is so hard for everything involved. So we're done with Group B. We understand if there's upsets, World Elite could potentially be in this group
and make it difficult.
Make it very difficult. If not, Immortals has a good shot getting out second.
Yes.
And I think both Immortals, Gigabyte Marines have a good shot getting out second. I would put them over anyone coming in. EU being the little bit weird.
I would mostly agree. It's weird, but Immortals They looked a little bad versus TSM in the finals, but
realistically, it's like they don't play their late game that well, right?
Yeah.
That's one of their biggest weaknesses. I don't necessarily think that Gigabyte Marines can win without having a good
right.
early game.
So I was gonna say is like they match up well versus Gigabyte Marines. Where like Levi's gonna want to do some dumb crazy shit, and Smithy's like down for that kind of.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll say is like probably Fnatic has a better late game than Immortals.
Yeah.
But I also think that Immortals can create early game leads a lot, and in their series they actually did do that. They just couldn't convert that into wins a lot of times.
So Longzhu for sure, potentially Immortals, depending on who else comes out, maybe them.
Okay, Group C.
G2 Esports, Samsung Galaxy, Royal Never Give Up.
It's with all this being said, at least it's not SKT, you know.
Sure.
And that makes it possible for G2. Whereas I think if it was SKT, it's impossible. So if any of these teams have a bad day, G2 could come in and like just sweep. I think not sweep, but get out of groups. I'm not even a European fanboy. I'm just saying it's a possibility. You know,
it's a possibility. If you think back to their MSI performance, G2 was pretty reasonable. Maybe they can repeat their MSI performance, and maybe that's enough to get past RNG, right? Because that's really what you're saying. Because for the most part, you assume Samsung to get out, though they did not look very good.
No, I don't even know about that. Like Samsung, I thought looked much better last Worlds.
Yeah.
And in this World, it's like they weren't exceptional.
Yeah, Samsung making Worlds last year had to make like a pretty good gauntlet run, and they were relatively convincing in it. But this time, they like their final performance to make Worlds was kind of like the CLG C9 series.
Yeah.
I heard people comparing it for me, where they were like, it was. Ugh.
And that's a situation where like if they play bad going into any of these teams, that could be a problem. But what's the potential group? The fourth team. What's the group that can come in from Wildcard?
NA.
Is it only NA?
No, it's NA plus any
Hong Kong Attitude.
Hong Kong Attitude. They can also get
Fenerbahce, anything from there.
well, I think they can also get.
Can't be World Elite.
If we're assuming no upsets.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then it's
Well, we're assuming. I would say. Oh yeah, assuming like none of the major regions get upset.
yeah, like maybe Gambit.
Yeah, maybe Gambit get in here. But if Gambit gets in here, this is like the hardest group of their lives. Like,
yeah, I mean, no matter who joins this group, it's already so stacked between those three teams.
it's really, really tough. So let's say we slotted C9 in here. This is a great group to watch.
Oh yeah.
No, like this is one of my favorite groups to watch
because you have all four major regions represented.
Because when you're watching Group A, you're just like, okay, you got two giants. You're watching Group B, you got
one giant.
You got one giant
and a slugfest for second, probably.
Exactly. Which is kind of cool. Group C, you have relatively top tier teams in their playing against each other on, I would say, like somewhat equal levels. Sure, G2 may be below some of the other teams, but this is still with C9 pretty fun. With C9 being actually the team that's at the very bottom.
You know why I want C9 in this group is because I don't think C9 is going to get out no matter what. So I put them in this group and just like let's have some fun.
Oh,
get all four major regions represented in one group for fun.
Yeah, I actually think that'd be great because C9 in this group. If C9 comes in, what do you think they get? I think they get fourth.
They get fourth.
Yeah, so it's a nightmare. Which of the two teams comes out?
I would go with RNG and Samsung, but it is closer than you might think initially.
I actually think this is the one group I might be like Europe gets out.
It could.
I think G2, and the worst thing is I haven't seen enough of RNG or Samsung. I only know I saw some of Samsung's last series, and they didn't look very good.
You know what scares me about G2 is Trick. He always does so bad in best of ones internationally. He does so.
He's been
bad.
the best jungler in the region for years,
and every time he goes international, he gets like their MSI run was like put him on Nunu, please God, get him off anything that requires skill.
Yeah, that's where like the brother Trick.
Yeah, that's why I'm like
started.
I'm pretty scared. Best of ones versus like a Chinese team who's just going ape shit. Like RNG is gonna be going.
God,
crazy.
it sucks because it's best of ones. Like but that's what makes it
fun.
Yeah. Because even SKT can drop best of ones, you know, and so No, I'm gonna go with the outside. The outside
taking-
group. I'm taking the G2, and I'll probably say I didn't like how Samsung looked.
I didn't like how they looked.
I think if RNG, the problem is I didn't watch RNG's games. So like, if RNG looked by comparison better than Samsung did, I would take them getting out. Whichever one looked better. I just don't know.
Yeah, me neither. And whoever comes in the DC really does not influence this group at all.
No,
I mean-
not at all.
Well, so it influences it in the sense like they might upset somebody and give them a loss that
Right,
they weren't expecting.
but they're not getting out first,
They're not getting out.
or even like second. Yeah,
They're not getting out at all, which brings us to Group D, the one everyone was waiting for.
Oh, this is usually TSM gets unlucky. They get the hard group, or they get the group they think is easy, and then it turns out, oh, Samsung's actually just super good. You know?
Yeah.
Like they get the groups that are really, really difficult. But this year, NA's only chance. This is like Reggie paid someone off who drew whoever drew this. Well, I don't know if it was Rookie. I wasn't watching.
Yeah, it was Rookie and somebody drew for NA.
Yeah, so like Rookie drew this for us. God bless his soul. This is the best.
I don't know if Rookie did IMT, but one of them. Yeah.
This is the best chance of TSM to get out of groups in a long time.
I'll pose a question after this moving forward.
Okay.
But at the very least, let's go over who's in this group. You got Flash Wolves, Misfits, and TSM.
Misfits just does not. I don't know
Look
what's
good.
wrong with Misfits. I actually think they're a good team. They just have like.
I think they're a regionally good team.
I guess that's the thing. You know, they look good with inside the region, but even at the very top level, they get kind of exposed.
They got
against
destroyed by G2.
right, against their counterparts. And I think that TSM is much more closer to G2's level than.
I see G2 and TSM as like super similar for the most part.
Right, neck and neck, and then I don't think Misfits is like down here.
Right, and it's best of one, so anything could happen. But you should beat Misfits. Flash Wolves is a team that everyone always geeks
God.
out about, but they're really overrated, I think, by the community. Just because they beat a Korean team, and it's like, oh my god, they beat a Korean team, and it's like, yeah, but they didn't get out of groups again.
The one thing I have to say is that even though they're overrated, this is a group where coming in, they're still going to be favorites to get out. They may not be first, but they are favorites to get out.
Depending on who joins them in Group D.
What is the worst possible?
World Elite.
Oh.
If World Elite
Oh,
joins, I think they're
God.
no longer favorites to get out. I think it's CSM and World Elite.
Oh, I forgot. World League makes this group really.
Well, so before we get into World Elite,
Okay.
I agree with what you're saying. Flash Wolves, TSM, most likely the two expected to get out.
Correct.
And just to point out how good this group is, you don't have a Korean team in it, which is what you're always praying for going into the group
Not
draw.
a Chinese team.
And
in
you're
it.
not even guaranteed to have a Chinese team in it, probably the number 2 region in the world. You could get out with no Chinese or Korean team. And even if you get the Chinese team, don't fucking complain, all right? This is as easy as you could possibly get.
Yeah, like it. They made a blood sacrifice. TSM did to get to this point.
Parth is like gonna die after Worlds or something. Like, I don't know whose soul they offered up.
Yeah, this is like. TSM fans, be ecstatic. This is the best you're gonna get.
Yeah, if you don't get out with this group draw, there is no excuse. Unless Bjergsen, literally has surgery the day before they play.
Yeah, if Bjergsen gets knocked out, all right, you're in trouble. But I mean,
If World Elite joins it, yes, it becomes a little scarier. TSM might not be the favorite anymore.
but like you said before, who cares?
Yeah.
Let's even if like a monster team joins this, it's still relative. The 3 teams remaining for TSM, a team that they want to be in. I actually think. All right, let's say
let's say it's not World Elite but Samsung. Would you be any happier? Right? Let's say you took the Korean 3rd seed. No, you're not any happier.
it's like the same thing. Well, my question to you: let's say TSM joins into Group B, replaces Immortals.
I mean, depending on who comes out of the play-in stage, maybe you prefer.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying though. I don't know. I just think. I actually think both.
There's no group you'd rather have them in.
I just think both. I actually think both NA teams got good groups.
And that was going to be my question.
That's really lucky.
I was going to ask, do you think this is the best group stage NA has ever had for draw?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even looking at Group B, it's sure they have a monolith, they have a giant, but you're gonna get a giant. You can't.
It's Worlds!
Yeah, it's Worlds, and you're only allowed one in a spot per team. And sure, if C9 gets through and they get slotted to Group C, that sucks, but they're third seed.
Yeah, like maybe you would have preferred Misfits over Gigabyte Marines if for the Group B team. But even then, like, Gigabyte Marines is scary because they're so explosive, but I don't really think they're, like, that good.
Yeah.
They are the scariest in group stage.
Yeah,
versus a team like SKT is scariest in best of 5.
This is the Gigabyte Marines, definitely the team you want to sleep on the least in best of 1s. But this is definitely the best draw I've ever seen for an NA stage.
Yeah, like, you might have 2 NA teams in quarters.
You might have 3. No, you won't have 3. No.
Well, I mean,
you just looked at me like I'm crazy. I was like, oh, what if C9? No, I look at Group C again. I'm like, you know what? No, never mind. C9.
I was looking at Group A, like maybe EDG flops and C9's in there. Like,
oh, you think C9 can get out of Group A?
No, I think it's more likely to get out of Group A than Group C. Is what I was saying.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Group C is the fucking group of death.
So you think? Oh, I think I see what you mean, because you think that all 3 of these teams are relatively like higher skilled. So even if one flops,
you
can't
has to beat another.
You can't luck into the second place spot.
Right. Whereas in Group A, if EDG just comes out and lays a turd, like maybe C9 limps in the second.
What are you trying to say about EDG, man?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that there's only one definitively great team in that group,
and then
it's SKT.
Jesus, dude.
I think EDG will get it.
Honestly, I think even Chinese fans like hate EDG at the Worlds. It's actually
they're just
so
like, dude,
bad.
fuck Name, fuck Clear Love, fuck this guy. They just hate everybody.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So Group D, super fortunate for TSM. They get out first or second.
Pretty much guaranteed. And if they don't, then like rip TSM. That team will probably explode.
Yeah. If they don't get out, TSM is losing like 2 members. Plus.
Yep. Any other predictions? Let's say, Immortals and TSM get out. Do you think any get to semis?
Ooh. That would mean that we track who we think gets out first and second.
Well, we don't have to assume too much. Let's just say TSM draws G2.
They can do it.
What if G2 gets a group? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like Group C. Maybe TSM ends up the 1 seed from Group D. G2 ends up the 2 seed.
I hope that happens. I hope G2 gets out second and TSM gets out first, and they fight each other in the next group. That would be like...
Isn't that such a good storyline?
That would just be the salt mines.
NA versus EU to definitively say who had a better year. Because G2 is the European TSM. TSM's the American G2.
And no team is going to go past that stage except for in that matchup.
You don't get past quarters if you get a Korean team.
Yeah. What are you trying to say? You think TSM versus LZ is going to be...
Dude, Korean teams...
You think Conster is not going to beat up Con? 1v1?
No.
Okay. All right, just clarifying. But yeah, I think that this is a good shot for both NA teams to get out.
Yeah,
I think I would put TSM getting out first in their group.
Yeah.
With
the asterisk that if WE joins them,
then it's scary. But with the other asterisk of it being a best of 1, I've typically hated watching TSM play best of 1s.
Oh yeah, it's
just they're a team that tends to adapt over time. Actually, if you look at their drafts, like Park tends to get better around games, like going to games 2, games 3, than it is like.
I would much rather see TSM in the playing stage.
Oh God.
No, think about it, because the best of 1 portion is so easy. There's 2 teams that get out of a group of 3. You just have to not be the worst, and then you get to play a best of 5. And like I would rather have TSM kind of warming up.
Yeah, but then TSM gets into Group C.
Yeah.
And then TSM actually, if TSM could slide the Group C, that would be the funniest.
That would be the greatest.
That would be the best group to watch. I would love watching Group C. I know what you mean, because
you hate TSM in best of 1s, especially coming into a tournament cold.
But best of 1s are like the easiest thing in play-ins, like much easier than this group.
Oh yeah.
So you wanted them to get the warm up and then get into the best of 5 warm up before this stage, but then they get slotted.
Yeah, the seeding sucks.
Yeah.
No, either way, I'm expecting huge things out of TSM. I'm expecting big things out of Immortals.
At least one NA team gets out. 100%.
If one North American team does not get out of groups, Scarra and I will dye our hair.
What? Sure. 100%.
We'll do a straw poll later for the colors.
What? Sure. 100%.
That's how confident we are. Scarra doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
No, it's because also, oh my god. Also, I made another bet based on the group.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah. So Kobe has a fan, and this fan says he will buy a very high quality cosplay, MF cosplay with like big tits and all.
Yep.
And it's like a really nice, like maybe even like latex level cosplay.
Professional grade
cosplay for him and like another person to have a bet on. And originally the idea was it was gonna be a Xell and Kobe.
Yeah. So
and Xell kind of like bitched out. And so recently at a party I talked to Kobe about it, and I was like, on the group stage, as soon as the results come in, give me any bet you want. Or like we'll work out a bet and we'll bet on it.
Oh, did he give you it?
No, so I have to go talk to him. I want to know what he wants to bet on, because I will bet the exact same thing that we bet on. One NA team gets through.
You're gonna have hot pink hair and a Misfortune cosplay.
Oh, that's gonna be.
Yeah, it was Kobe got Star Guardian MF as his personality, and then someone was like cosplay ? And then someone responded like, yeah, I'll make that for you.
Oh. Okay.
NA has the greatest group draw they've ever gotten before. They are 100% one team getting out, and if they don't, Scar and I dye our hair.
Yes. On the reverse end, let's talk a little bit about EU, because NA and EU are tied pretty closely. So, what do you think about EU's chances? I think
it sucks.
It's really bad for Group C. It's like super hard.
Yeah.
What's Misfits? Okay, that's really bad. What about Fnatic?
Well, I actually think.
You think Misfits?
No.
I was gonna say that's the hardest.
You said it was really bad for Misfits. I actually don't think it's that bad. It's just TSM and Flash Wolves. It's under the same. Remember what we were saying?
Yeah.
Every team in Group D is like, thank God I'm in Group D.
True. But if we're rating teams coming in on these 12 teams shown right here, where do you put Misfits?
I think they are below Fnatic.
Oh God. Okay, so even the 12 teams up here, Misfits is either between 10 and 12.
Yeah, because it depends. Do I think AHQ is that good? Usually they're not very good.
I think I'd probably put Misfits a little bit above them. And then Gigabyte Marines, I actually think in this best setting, Gigabyte Marines is better.
I don't think they're more likely to get out of stuff. I just think they're more likely to pick up random wins.
Yes, yeah. And I think in this best of one setting, that's perfect. And so, with that being said, they're the 11th place. They're the 11th team of the 12 teams we see. And coming in with the 4 teams in, we have Fnatic, World Elite. Who am I? Cloud9.
Yeah.
Are they better than any of these? Would you put money on it? They may be better than C9.
Maybe.
So you're saying this team is the 15th of 16 teams here. So yes, this is the best draw they could have hoped for. I agree. But still...
I mean, like, I know Misfits smashed Fnatic. I know that happened in playoffs. It's going to be a month and a half later. Or not quite. A month-ish. I don't know. Maybe I'm overrating Fnatic a little bit, but
I actually overrate Fnatic too. Like I think Fnatic
I think I absolutely have a Fnatic bias, but I also watch Misfits get shit on by G2.
Okay.
So I just don't. I don't know.
So EU's chances, one team getting out, possible? I think it's probably the hardest year for them.
I would take a bet to say they don't get out, just because the best you can hope for is Fnatic ends up in Group B and are able to upset Immortals and
that's their best case scenario.
I think that's their best case.
Because if Fnatic go A,
they're fucked.
But that's the only 2 groups they can be in.
Yeah, so it's A or B, and I would rather be in B. I'd rather have to be trying to upset Immortals than EDG or SKT.
Oh God. Okay, so NA took EU's luck this year and just made it their own. So if EU gets out of groups, honestly, applause for them. They're doing great.
That's tough. If they get out of groups,
and if NA doesn't make it out of groups,
well, what I'll say is if a shitty team joins Group D and Misfits gets out, it's the same thing.
Okay, so if it's TSM Misfits, that's okay.
Yeah, that's like whatever.
But more than likely, it's World Elite.
Yeah,
and then that's because even if World Elite, if an upset happens, it's World Elite gets through, which we're assuming is not the upset.
It's still like a 50-50.
It's a 50-50 throwing World Elite in that group anyways.
Yeah. If EU gets out, we shave our heads. I actually don't even think it's like that horribly unlikely.
It's not horribly unlikely, but I think that this is probably one of the worst group draws for them, outside of maybe Misfits. Assuming World Elite gets in Group D, it's probably one of the worst EU group draws and best NA group draws.
Yeah.
Which is good for my region, bad for Europe.
Yeah, I'll take bets on NA. Europe, I'm a lot less confident about.
So we're going with the bet. Dyeing our hair, color of your choice if NA
doesn't get out
of groups.
100%.
I'm good. I've never dyed my hair before, by the way, guys. So this is...
You've never dyed your hair?
Ever.
I haven't either.
Really?
Yeah, I've never... I've done like the spray paint dye, you know, but I've never like actually dyed my hair.
This is the first. This could be...
We can do different colors.
This could be pink.
Like we could
yellow.
We could do red, white, and blue.
Yeah, or if NA doesn't make it out in Europe, does you have to dye like Fnatic's
I'll dye. Yeah, you dye
something?
Fnatic. I get G2.
Okay. Anyways, I think that's it for our coverage from the group draw. I understand maybe weren't as analytical as we could be because, quite honestly, we don't cover these regions much. But I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage, and the bet's on.
Yep.
And it gets out of groups, or else we dye our hair some disgusting color, which I have to go out in public with.
I might not have to. I will hide indoors all day.